It's important to share the gospel on campus because Jesus calls us to make disciples of all nations.
I think that it is super important to share the gospel to college students because this is a new place that someone's going to. This is the very first time that they're away from home. You're more open to new ideas and you have to make new friends, make new support structure.
So some new steps of faith I've taken this year. One big thing that I've been doing is as a part of the Cru ministry organization, I've been taking a part of their weekly community groups. That's helped me dig into my Bible a lot more and study God's Word.
I've seen God work in my life in the most crazy and insane ways. I didn't grow up in the best environment, but coming to UAH and joining Cru has really helped me find community and grow in my faith, and I'm so eternally grateful for that.
This last year, I struggled a lot with anxiety and feeling like I always needed to perform good in school for me to have value and to be worth something. And really getting involved in Christian community and having God influence my life really showed me how that doesn't define me, and learning to let go and put things in His hands. But He provided a way and helped me to learn to let go and rest in Him to help eliminate my anxiety.
So discipleship, that's another new thing I've started this year with my discipler, and it's been pretty neat. We've been going through the transferable discipleship app, going through different points of what it means to be a follower of Jesus and the importance of making disciples of others, teaching them God's word and how to interact with people in our community. And part of my discipleship, I've also been beginning to disciple another gentleman, a student here at school, going through the Bible with him, and he's a fairly new Christian. So one outreach event I did was Text for Cookies. That was one opportunity I got to share my faith, particularly with a gentleman that lived over between the CVs. I got to talk to him. He was an agnostic atheist, but I had a chance to share my faith.
People are very receptive to these conversations. I don't know if this is just a UAH thing, but people have never really shied away from answering those questions, even if they seem a little bit unsure at first. When they realize you're just there to have a conversation, they're very open to having a conversation with you.
So one of the awesome things I've been able to experience this year in Cru is getting to learn a lot more gospel tools. Through all these different tools, I've been equipped, to multiply my faith.
The step of faith that I got to take this year was I got to share perspective cards with a couple different people. One of them was at the CU. Me and Allison, my discipler, were walking around and trying to work with this tool to get me a little bit of practice. And we saw someone sitting by the food area, and we sat down and went through the cards with her. At the end of our discussion, she said that she had been praying the night before. I don't know if she really believed in God, but she was praying to a higher power, and she said, she was asking for a sign. And then we came up and talked to her that day, and she said it felt like an answer to the prayer that she had prayed, and it was a really cool experience to be a part of. It's opened a lot of doors to be able to approach those conversations with a lot of care and respect of, okay, so tell me why you think those things, or what in your life has led you to use these as your modes of where you obtain truth. I also got another chance to use the perspective cards when I was talking with a friend of mine, Leo, that I met earlier in the year at one of our WOW events. I've been very fortunate to be able to keep going to lunches with her every other week, and I didn't know what her relationship with God was like. So after practicing the perspective cards tools, I was able to sit down at lunch with her and go through and see where she was at with God in a much more approachable way with the tool that we have.
Yeah, so me and a friend, we were out in the Charter Union, and we were looking for people to share our faith with to try out a new gospel tool called Solarium. But we walked up to this one guy and we asked him if he would take 15 minutes or so to talk with us, about his faith. As we got to find more about him, that he actually grew up in a Christian home, but then he actually kind of fell away from the faith, and that he was now, as we were going through this tool with him, he was kind of discovering that he was rediscovering, Christianity, and he was rediscovering what it looked like to follow Jesus. And so we got to the end of the conversation, and Donnie looks at us and he was like, "You guys, you just don't know how much I appreciate this conversation." It was just so awesome to see him open up to just complete strangers, and God just lay on his heart that he wants to understand more about Christianity. He wants to actually know what it means to follow Jesus. And just that God used me and my friend to do that is just completely amazing.
Where Jesus was telling his disciples um, that the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. That was one part of opening my mind and my heart to go to this mission trip to Croatia.
The steps of faith that I've taken this year, one being a crew leader, I get to help lead a Bible study and engage in that community with other students from different backgrounds and different schools even. And then I made the decision to go on a summer mission this summer, which is a big step for me because I will be gone for 3 weeks out of the summer. And I am relying on God to provide for that trip, and getting to share my faith with others is an important step that I've been wanting to take for a while now.
One of the steps of faith I've taken this year is to decide to go on a summer mission.
The Lord has actually given me the opportunity to go on a summer mission with Cru to Croatia.